sponsored by W Jitterless Energy Blend, formulated to give you the focus and energy with no jitters or crash. Their formula contains vitamins, amino acids, and nootropics, including the patented Neurofactor, with more than 10 different flavors to enjoy and start your day strong. Are you ready to try W? Visit W.GG today and use promo code ARROWWAN to save 10% on your purchase today. Oh, sorry. Not Fat Albert. It's me, the other fat motherfucker. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to today's episode of Tuned In Live. If you guys have yet to do so, hit that like, subscribe button down below if you're watching us on YouTube. And we're also live on twitch.tv/ArrowENT if you guys want to follow us over there. So there's quite a bit to talk about today's episode. Quite a bit. And it's a sad one. It can be a sad. This is a real sad day. It's a sad day. It's a sad topic. It's a sad every goddamn thing. It truly is. But I will say, to start out with, guys, if you guys are subscribed to the channel, you guys probably saw a channel update from this morning that I posted. And it's something that I didn't want to do, and it's something that I didn't really expect to do or expect to happen. It hit me like a freight train, and not in a way that people probably may think. So the update is I stepped down from the Utter Random Crap podcast. I took a step down from it. Now, before I get into talking about it, my views, my thoughts on everything about it. So, the Utter Random Crap podcast, and I acknowledged it in my video. And we've always acknowledged it on stream. I've told people the Utter Random Crap podcast is Tom and Tim's project. I never said anything about me having any kind of ownership of it. I've never said anything about me creating it or owning it or saying it was my show. Tom and Tim, they formed it back in 2015. And they had a particular format for it. And it was hilarious. You know, but they also had topics to go along with the show after the first episode. But there was always a lot of joking around and such, you know, and that's what it was originally supposed to be. And the show, I ended up as a guest on it quite a few times myself, and we had fun doing it. But came a couple times where I wasn't around to do anything with Tom, or we had something going on, and the show got put on hold. So there was a couple times where it did get revived, and then something would happen, and then Tom would put it on hold again. And it's his show. It is his show. I would have expected him to carry on with it for a little bit. You know, like I understand he doesn't want to do it solo. You know, it's a thing. You know, you want to be able to talk with somebody on the show and have thoughts bouncing off of each other when it comes to doing something like with me. I'm a talker. I can keep things free flowing for as long as I can. And I know I've talked a lot on the show. I've never tried to really mean to. You know, I try to, you know, I just, in my opinion, like, I'm not trying to turn it into, hey, Tom, what's up, man? I'm not trying to turn it into something like Tune In Live. I'm not trying to turn it into something else. You know, I had an idea of like, okay, we can keep it free flowing. That way there's not a lot of dead air. There's a lot of, you know, bouncing back and forth, that kind of thing. So the show was going pretty good. And I was absent from the show for the last couple of Fridays because I had things going on. And this past Friday, I was in Gettysburg with Jeff. Oh, you didn't. I don't want to say you hurt my feelings. When I was watching the last 20 minutes of Friday's show, like for one, I do got to say, Tom, when you started the show, when you said you shouldn't have been there, you were hurting, and Dana said you might have had a mini stroke or something, and you didn't want to cancel the show. I got to say, in my opinion, your health should have came first before the show. I mean, we've had times where we've canceled the show because something came up, and it was fine. You would just let people know, say, hey, we're not having an episode this week because of such and such. We'll return next week, whatever. And if you were really in real bad shape, I wouldn't expect you to get up, sit at the chair, and having to push yourself to do a stream. Yeah, I know Tim pretty much brought up the whole thing. I know he did. And I'm not pissed at him. I'm not pissed at you. And my thing is, I feel like out of all the episodes that we have done with URC, and we've had such a good time with it. You know, we had a lot of fun. There was a lot of laughs, a lot of this and that. And if it felt like the show was taking a turn where you disagreed, that it shouldn't have been, you know, it should have just been how URC originally was, you should have got with me and said, hey, look, I'm not happy with how the show's turning out. Let's come up with some new ideas. And I was all for them. And I was the co-host. Like, I had no ownership of the show. It's your show. So I never sat there and said, well, this should be this should be that. I was never like that. And I brought a lot of topics to the show. You know, we covered a lot of topics. We muddled through it. We joked about a lot of stuff. We had a lot of serious tone to the show. And I thought it was doing pretty good. You know, we were getting some good views. People were loving it. And like I said in the video, a lot of the stuff that I put into there is pretty much trendy to try to get the show put out there to an audience that can pick up on it. Anybody who searches for, let's say we talked about Dr. Disrespect that one day. And that stream had around 150 views on it. And I'm just like, wow, that's from the first episode of URC to gain a big viewership of that. You know, even if it wasn't while we were live, it was after we were live. You felt it was best to walk away. I was put in a situation where I couldn't win no matter what. Well, I wasn't trying to put you in a situation. I mean, just understand, I wasn't trying to put you in a situation. Tim and you decided, okay, let's see about making some changes to the show. And that was fine. That it's your all show. If you guys feel like the show strayed from what it was supposed to be, that was both your guys' idea. I just felt in a way where I felt like every idea that I brought forth to the show, it felt like it just gone to waste, basically. Once I was back. Yeah, but then I was like, I called the show this morning. I was like, I'm guessing it's like, it feels like I must have just done something wrong to turn the show around. And I feel like everything that I brought onto the program, it was either for, you know, it was all a waste of time, or it just shouldn't have been. And I was like, I'm just going to step aside. I'm going to step down. Because I know Tim wants to. You didn't fail me, Tom. You didn't fail me. I just want you to know you didn't fail me. And there's nothing to be sorry about. It's, you know, your program changed. It's not how you wanted it to be. And I feel it should have been, something should have been said long ago. Even if it was Tim should have brought something up long ago, even when we were on private, and say, look, you know, I'm as co-owner of the show. And we've always told Tim, you know, he's co-owner, you know, we didn't tell him to stay in the back burner. We didn't tell him to stay away. He was always welcoming and all, you know, because it was his project too. he had a say in everything. If something was said long ago, things wouldn't have come to this point in time. And it's sad that it has. And I made the decision to step aside so you guys can carry on with your project and bring it to what you guys want it to be, because it's your show. If you guys want to bring it back to how it was in 2015, that's between you guys. I have nothing against that. And it wasn't going to upset me or anything that you were going to change the format or return back to its roots. It didn't upset me. It just upset me that I found out this way by listening and thinking, I guess everything that I brought forth it wasn't really meant to be, in a sense. But Tom, I want you to not feel like you're a failure at it. You want to keep everyone happy, and it bit me. Well, you had everybody happy, but there's also things to where you can voice your opinion. You can voice yourself. Like, I was still gonna be happy no matter what. Like, we've had episodes where we didn't even have a topic. We were just going off on a whim, like making fart jokes and sex jokes and shit like that, just making random, and it was all fun, Everybody was happy. Like, even if you came out and said, like, in one of the meetings we had, and said, hey, what if we do this? We just revert back to this and that and not worry about the topics. I wouldn't have been mad. I wouldn't have been upset. I would have agreed with you because it's your project, and I came on with you to help resurrect it again. And that's all that was. Like, you do stuff to keep people happy. You already do. You had no problem with the topics, just wanted to make it a little lighthearted. Yeah, and that's all good. That is all good. Like, if everything turned out in a negative way, yeah, it should have been discussed. Originally should have been discussed. But now that it's all come out in the limelight, and it is what it is. So, like, I'm still stepped down from the project. You didn't have to cancel URC. Like, it's your project. You guys can still carry on. Dana now has a little bit of free time to hop in there as co-host or co-owner or whatever. And Tim, he's now making more of an effort to come back in. He's got a computer now. He's able to do things. You guys are able to work things out. So it still works in your advantage. I don't want you to think that losing me as a co-host is a big damper for the project. Because I know you and we've revived it together. But with me stepping down, it shouldn't be... It shouldn't put a damper on your day. It's just one little thing that's happened. You'll be doing mostly by yourself. But you can always, you can always get with Loki. You can always get with Tim. Say, hey, look, I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Feel free to drop in. And I know, I know what Loki's schedule is. He can still do like the Saturday night show and all that. But it's however you guys want to do it. And that's pretty much it. Like, you don't really have to cancel the show because I step aside. That would be like if Tim said, I'm quitting. I mean, I wouldn't say, Tim, sorry to hear that. And I wouldn't do something like, okay, we're going to quit the show because Tim decided to quit. No, as they say in show business, the show must go on. Yes, there is stuff that happens behind the scenes when it comes to movies, TV shows, music, live broadcast, podcast, whatever. There's always something that happens behind the scenes. And of course, some of it does come out in the limelight. But these are the things that do happen. And I just want you to know, man, like, I don't think of you any different. I still think of you as a friend and all. I'm not going to sit there and say, fuck Tom, I'm done with him. No, I'm not going to say that. We've been friends for so long. I've known you for so long. We'll still do things together and all. It's just, for right now, I feel like, the URC podcast, I'm stepping aside. That way you guys can revamp it the way you guys want to do. You guys can do whatever you want to do. And I can sit back and watch and see how things turn out. But anyway, like moving aside from that, I'm gonna move into something that's even more sad for today. But before I do, let's go to commercial break, guys, and I'll see you all in a second.
Some don't.
At Michelin, we believe a tire that's just good in the rain isn't good enough. Introducing the Michelin X1 with a 6-year, unlimited mileage tread life warranty. It gives you better wet traction than any rain tire and Michelin confidence in any driving condition. It has to, because the way we see it, you don't just cover a lot of miles, you cover a lot of weather. The Michelin X1.
This is for my grandfather, who always said I'd make the family proud. For my mom, who never let me out the door without my homework. For my dad, who worked the night shift to make our lives better.
Flight 3 Alpha. Spotted.
For myself. For my future.
And we're back, you guys. So, going on to today's main topic. The Xbox 360 stores are shutting down today. I was thinking about doing a video on it, but I'm like, you know what? It would be too much to download screenshots and videos and such and put it all together and edit together, because I already got a lot of content set aside that I got to put together. Still got a lot of Gettysburg videos to put out there, put them all together. And I just recently did a video on a couple decks of Magic the Gathering cards that I just acquired recently. It's Assassin's Creed, and I did a quick video on that. So I'm going to put that together sometime this week and put it out there for you guys. So there's a lot of content still coming. I still got a lot of episodes of CinemaCast to post. I got a lot of episodes of the food review shorts to do, and also there was a brief food review that I did when I was in Gettysburg with Jeff, and that's going to be in the first video that I post today. It's not going to be a separate entity, it's just going to be in that video. So there is a food review that we did. It's going to be part of the first video that I put out today. That's already done, so that will go up today. You guys will check that out. You'll be able to check that out. So I still got quite a bit of content to upload for you guys, and I figured today, I get my thoughts out on the Xbox 360 store shutting down today. And it's a sad thing. It really is, because there's a lot of gamers out there that still game on their 360s. There's a lot of gamers that still download digital content from the stores on their 360 consoles. And even though there's a lot of games and DLC that are backwards compatible for Xbox One and the Series X, I'm not sure if that will affect it in any way on the newer consoles. But if you do have a 360, this is some sad news. Now, this article I'm going to read here, because I'm trying to find something from much more recent, but this is something that came from last August, and this is on Xbox Wire. It's on Xbox's website. This November, which is this past November, last year, will mark 18 years since the Xbox 360 launched. It was a generation-defining console that invited many to jump into gaming for the first time and connect with friends around the world. All over the years, we've heard stories of players who found a lifelong love of games, starting with the likes of Cameo, Gears of War, Fable 2, and other Xbox 360 classics. We're thrilled so many fans keep playing their favorite 360 games on their 360 or newer consoles via backwards compatibility. As we head toward 2024, we have a change to share about the Xbox 360 experience. Today, on July 29th, the Xbox will stop supporting the ability to purchase new games, DLC, and other entertaining content from the Xbox 360 store on the console and the Xbox 360 Marketplace, which is the website. Related to this change, the Microsoft Movies and TV app will no longer function on the Xbox 360, which means TV and movie content will no longer be available on 360 after July 29th. That sucks right there. That does. For anybody who's purchased any digital content, you're not going to be able to watch it on your 360. Now, however, that doesn't mean it's money lost, people. It doesn't mean that you're losing your digital content at all. If you have the app on your PC, if you have any of the apps linked to your phone or your Xbox One or your Xbox Series console, as long as you have ownership to that digital content, you bought it under your account, as long as you're watching it under your account, you can still view that stuff. You just won't be able to watch it on your Xbox 360. Now, sadly, a lot of people out there that own 360 still, they don't know or understand that. But they're in for a really hard, rude awakening today where they're going to access their consoles and they're not going to be able to download stuff. They're not going to be able to play stuff. They're not going to be able to watch their TV and movie content. And then I am pretty sure after today, Microsoft's going to get a lot of phone calls from a lot of angry customers saying, hey, what the hell's going on? I can't access my shit. And I'm pretty sure they're going to be like, well, if you haven't heard the news, the store shut down yesterday or the day before, and you're not going to be able to access that content. The only way you can access it is if you're on PC or if you have an upgraded console. And that's sad. It's sad because a lot of people do not have the money. They don't have the funds for a new Xbox console. It's like, do you have $500 to fork out for an Xbox Series X? Like, let me tell you guys a story, okay? In my travels over the last few days before I went to Gettysburg. So when I went to GameStop and I bought that double deck of MTG cards, and there was a guy that came in there, and he was telling a story about how he used to be a gamer. He used to love playing games, and then he started working a lot more, picking up a lot more hours with his job, and he hadn't had time to play games and all. But recently, he figured, okay, he finally got the money saved up. He wants to buy a console, but he's not going to be too heavy into playing games. It's going to be between him and his son. So he came in to buy the Xbox Series S, which is the slim version, the discless version, which only comes with a 500 gig hard drive. And he's asking the guy behind the counter, okay, what are the specs with it? Can I do this? Can I do that with it? And the guy that they had there working at GameStop, he doesn't know. He knows barely anything about Xbox. He barely fucking knows. And I'm sitting there thinking, maybe this is fate that I'm in this store right now. So I decide to speak up, right? And I'm educating the guy. And it's fun doing it. I like doing that. I like, somebody who goes in and they buy a new console or they ask about this and that. I like to educate people. That's what I like to do. And I was enjoying it. And he was getting, he was really getting a lot of information out of me. And I was telling him, yeah, this is the difference between the S console, the X console, price wise, this and that. If you want more storage space, you would have to get this card. For the older games you play on there, you can put a hard drive up to it, this and that. And I was just going on and about with it. I'm like, yeah, this is cool. And I even told him, I said, and you know what? If you're familiar with the subscription base, Game Pass Ultimate, and I was like, it's $20 a month now, but you'll have access to hundreds of games that you could download at any time and play. And I even told him, I said, even if you're into like Call of Duty, they got, okay, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 is on there right now, and then a new one comes out in November, you'll get it day one. I told him, I said, you don't have to worry about buying physical games if you don't have the time to come out and buy them, if you don't have the money to buy them, pay for a subscription service, and boom, you got all these games that you can access whenever you want. So I think I really did have him intrigued. And he said his girlfriend was a heavy gamer and shit, so she even came in and she knew her stuff too. You know, she was out in the car the whole fucking time. So I was even talking with her and all. She's like, yeah, I'm a big Assassin's Creed fan. I played all the Assassin's Creed and beat them all and this and that. And I was even like, yeah, like even if, because she was talking about wanting to play the new one. I said, if you sign up for Ubisoft Plus, it's $20 a month, of course. I was like, you can get them all on there with other games and stuff. So I was in a good mood, you know, to help this guy out and tell him, hey, you could do this, you can do that, you know, just give him an idea of what he can do with his console. You know, and I was even like, yeah, I'm pretty sure your son's into games like Minecraft or whatever. They got that on Game Pass. You know, you can download that for free. He can play it whenever he wants, you know, to his heart's delight. So it's always good I can run into somebody that I can educate them on these consoles. I can't do it with PS5. I know very little about PS5. I know it can do certain things, but when it comes to Xbox, and I've had an Xbox all my life basically, so I do a lot of research on stuff. So if anybody has like a question about this and that, I'm always free to answer, you know. So that made my day, you know. I helped him out, and then I made my purchase, and the guy behind the counter, he was like, yeah, when it comes to that stuff, I don't even really know that much about it myself. And I was even educating that poor guy, you know. I was like, holy shit. And I was just telling him about, you know, I was like, yeah, the newest Call of Duty just came out. And I was telling him about how Activision and the other company that makes the game, how the Call of Duty series is like high up there in storage space. Like Modern Warfare 3, if you download it in full, it's like 200 and some gigs, but they made it now to where you can consolidate it and uninstall what you don't need. So it's like, okay, you beat the campaign, you got all the collectibles in the campaign, good. You can just uninstall the campaign, and you can download the multiplayer. You can download Warzone, download the map packs. That way it doesn't take up that much space. So I guess that's one good thing that Activision and all have going for the Call of Duty series, is not only do they all implement them into one interface, which means you still got to install the games, but it all goes under one interface, but you can install whatever you want to access, which is it's a good idea. And I think that should be a norm for a lot of different companies. Like even with Bungie, like let's say you're done playing not Bungie, 343. Let's say you're done doing the campaign for Halo and you just want to play the multiplayer. Maybe there should be an option to uninstall the campaign. The campaign's probably like 70, 80 gigs right there. So you're saving space right there. I mean, I think that should be a good idea for a lot of games that come out, where if it's a single player game and it has the multiplayer aspect to it, and people are already done playing the campaign and they want to focus on multiplayer, okay, that's done. You can just uninstall the campaign. You can reinstall it later whenever you want to. If you want to play it again, that's all cool. So I think that should be a new interesting thing that a lot of these game developers should bring forth to Microsoft and Sony, is if you got a lot of games that are coming out that have both offline single player and multiplayer, and a lot of your gamer base focuses more on multiplayer, then okay, then maybe they want to play through the game first and then delete the campaign. You know, I'm done, but I still want to play the game. I still enjoy it. Okay, there's a multiplayer to it. Okay, now you can enjoy playing the multiplayer. But then you got other games out there that are like free to play, free to download and shit. They put them out there and you play them for a year, and then those developers are like, well, we haven't had a strong gamer base in the last 5-6 months. People aren't playing it much anymore. So what do? They decide to shut the servers down, killing the game off it completely. Which is ridiculous. Like, games like that, yeah, they're fun to play. But for a lot of people, even your casual gamers, like, when do they have time to play it, you know? Like, maybe they forget to hop on and play it. Or maybe they got a library full of games that they're trying to sort through and go through and beat and play, you know? Like, those type of games, the free-to-plays, it's almost like those developers are like, well, this is a game that you should dedicate yourself to playing 24/7. If not, then what the hell is the use in having it up? That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous talk coming from the those developers, if that's even so. It's like, okay, the game's not doing that well online. People are still playing it, but I think it's like there's a demographic view when it comes toward games like look at Suicide. Look at the Suicide Squad game. I love playing it. I love the campaign. But they're like, oh, this is the lowest selling game of 2024 or whenever it came out, you know. It's like people are not liking it. Like, I like it. A lot of people are turned off by it because you got LGBT propaganda in the game, but I'm like, you know what? As long as I enjoy the game and that shit is not like flashed in my face every 5 seconds, if it's only like a let's say a pride flag in one little spot that you're not even going to go to anymore, who do I fucking care? You know, I've played games where the protagonist was a female. I've played a lot of games where the protagonist is a male. I don't care who I play as long as I play the game, I enjoy it. That's it. Like with Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider, female protagonist. I don't give a shit I play as a female. It's still a good game. It's a good story, good character. We've all been through that. But now, you know, they allow these gamers, they allow a lot of people to sit there and be like, oh, well, this and this and that. Like, well, I don't give a shit about that anyway. Since we're like, what was it? Only a half hour in? I thought it was fucking more than that. Yeah. Yeah, I see it. Mel's dyeing her hair. She got the blues and the whites and all that. And I feel like I need me like a blueberry snow cone now or something, you know, like just the colors of it. Or maybe some ice cream. I don't fucking know. So yeah, going back to the article here. Between now in July. So as of yesterday, before today, you could purchase games and DLC from the Xbox 360 store and the marketplace. This change will not affect your ability to play Xbox games or DLC you already have purchased. So if you guys have purchased anything at all, and it's under your account, you still own it, so you still be able to play it. Xbox 360 content previously purchased will still be able to play not only on the 360 console, but also on Xbox One and Series XS devices via backwards compatibility. A lot has changed since the Xbox 360 launched in 2005. Technology has evolved, expectations from players have shifted, and we are focused on making Xbox Series X and S the best place to play now and in the future. What has not changed is our commitment to preserving your ability to play the content you have already purchased on your preferred devices, which means we are committed to supporting 360 gameplay for foreseeable future, and you will still be able to play and re-download previously purchased content and connect with your friends. Well, let's see. There has been a lot of broken promises from, what was it? Phil Spencer? Yeah, Phil Spencer and Microsoft and Xbox all together. Yeah, remember when they said, okay, Xbox backwards compatibility back in 2015 or so, and they implemented that to Xbox One. And they said, we are focused on bringing every classic title just about to the Xbox One so you all can play it backwards compatible. And all they did was put out a fucking patch. They just put out a patch that implemented an emulator. That's basically all they did. Even though back when PS4 came out and they said, well, the PS4's hardware power is not supposed to be, it's not meant for backwards compatibility. It's only meant for PS4. Okay. So even though Xbox was along the same lines, Xbox comes out 3 years later and says, you know what? We are going to bring 360 games to backwards compatible with this console now. And all they did was just release a free patch that goes along with the BIOS, and it's basically an emulator. And they figure, you know, people run emulators on their computers all the time. I have emulators. I have games that I play on here. I still play NES games, Sega Genesis games, all kind of shit. I still play all that on my PC. Yeah, because they're fun. And then you have these other consoles that come out, these mini consoles that have like 50 to 100 games, you know, installed on them with a little memory card and shit. And you can play them on your TV. I have something like that on my TV upstairs. Mel got it for me last year as a birthday gift. And it's a little HDMI box. You plug it in. And it's supposed to have thousands of games installed on it, right? Well, half of those games either don't work, or they're in fucking Japanese, Chinese, French, whatever. A lot of the games have a latency issue on it where you push a button and your action is delayed by like a fraction of a second or a whole second at that. So, like, I'll sit there and I try to put the card in my computer to upload my own ROMs to it, but the card is locked out. So you can't edit what's on the card. You can't upload anything to it. You can't take anything off, which is dumb. You know, like if I want to, there's a version of Resident Evil 2 on there that's in Japanese. There's no English version of it. It's all in fucking Japanese. So it's like I can't take that version off and put an English version on there. Nope. I gotta play it as is. There's a version of Code Veronica for the Dreamcast on there. And what's funny about it is I'll get 5 minutes into the game where your character meets up with Steve, and he's all fucking derpy looking. You know, his eyeballs are on the side of his head and shit. Half his top of his head's fucking cut off and shit. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I just laugh at it. I can't play this. I mean, I could probably play. I'll be laughing at it, but it's like all the shit is glitchy. But I guess that kind of technology they didn't really focus too much on. It's like, okay, you're implementing a lot of games on here. Okay, how about Atari 2600, y'all? People who grew up in the 80s, who started out playing Atari 2600, you want to get back and playing those games, right? Well, you can't with these devices because the 2600 games, they don't work. They don't really work. They don't even fucking work. I tried going into them, each of them, and it just backs right out to the menu. And I'm like, this is fucked up. Well, I mean, at least I can still play my fucking games on, I can still play them on the computer. You know? Other games, they do play. I play Game Boy games. It's even got Virtual Boy. It may not have every single Virtual Boy game on there, which is only like fucking 20 or 30 titles for it, but that plays pretty well. Even Mel and I, we sat upstairs playing Sega Genesis games and Super Nintendo games. We were having fun with that because those devices. Yeah. But it's like, you know, those devices, they come with 2 controllers. And I would give those a rating of maybe like, I don't know, 4 out of 10. Like, they are good for like casual, but like I said, they don't have everything. You can't play everything. They have everything on there, but you can't play everything. That's the bad thing about those things. Just like back in the day, you had companies that were bringing out consoles called retrocons and shit like that. You know, retcons. And those were the ones that had top loaders. That had like 4 top loaders to it. Like, yeah, Tom, you know, if he's still here, Tom has a couple of them where you can put NES, SNES, Genesis cartridges in there. I don't think they've made one for 64 yet. But they make them to where it's multi-console, and I think they may have a switch, a little toggle switch on it where you can switch between which consoles you have. But those were pretty good to collect back in the day. Like, if you didn't have money to go on eBay and pay like $200, $300 for a used console, if you want to play NES or whatever, the Retrocon consoles, they had so many versions of them, and they've come out, and you can play cartridge-based games on them. So if you still collected, NES, SNES, Genesis games, shit, you can have the collection of those, and you just have one console that plays them all at once. And that was basically it. But now here we are, we've got 360, with Xbox, they run an emulator on the Xbox One and Series consoles now, to where you can play the OG stuff, the 360 stuff. And Phil Spencer said back in 2015, we were going to add the whole library, basically. We're going to have the whole library of games backwards compatible for Xbox One. They only put maybe, 300-400 of them. And there's like close to 800-900 Xbox 360 games out there in total, I think. I may be off on the number. But they only did maybe about a third or a quarter of the library. And then they just like, okay, well, we're moving forward. We're working on Xbox Series stuff now. We're moving forward. We're not taking a step. It's like, what the hell happened? You just took a big shit on your gamer base, on your fan base, who has supported Xbox for so many years. Like, I can understand. Okay, I understand games like Guitar Hero and Rock Band, the ones that have those third-party peripherals that will not connect to your console. I can understand you're not going to be able to do that. The hardware just doesn't match. That's fine. But that only makes up, 0.1% of the titles for Xbox 360 that you'll just have to get the actual console for? But, all these other games that you can implement in a list. If you don't want to put them digital, hey, just put a list of games out there that are backwards compatible, and people will not have a problem trying to find those games online anywhere and buy the physical copy of them. There are still stores out there that sell Xbox 360 games. I know. I live near quite a few stores that are like that. They even still sell N64, NES games, and all kind of shit. Like, hell, just add the coding to these games to the emulator. I will go out and I will buy physical copies of these games. There's a lot of games on 360 that I loved playing back in the day. And I can't play them anymore because, well, I don't own them. And I can't, even if I bought them, I can't play them on my Series X. So what do I got to do? I got to go online somewhere and pay probably $200-300 for a 360 just to play a physical game. Well, now as of today, I can't access the store, so I can't buy it digital. Which also makes me wonder, is the online still working on there? Can people still play games online on there? I don't fucking know. That I haven't even looked up much with it. But there are some questions that gamers did ask on this forum. And like I said, this is from over a year ago. I don't know if their views on it changed as of today. But going over these questions, okay, can I still play my Xbox 360 games after July 2024? Yes, you will still be able to play the games you purchased on the 360. If you purchased a game digitally or have a physical disc, you can still jump in and play. If you deleted the game that you had purchased, but you want to play it again, you can still re-download it. What about multiplayer games via the Xbox Network? Can I still play with my friends? Yes. Even after July 2024, you'll still be able to play games and connect with friends through multiplayer or the games you purchased, as long as the publisher still supports the online servers. You can still play the games and progress to the cloud, and if you choose to continue any of these available games on Xbox One and Series X, those cloud saves will transfer over. So that is good right there. So people, it's just the 360 store marketplace that is shutting down today. You can still play the games online. You can still play multiplayer. You can still have access to all of that. It's just they're closing the store down. So that's the only thing. Can I still buy and play 360 backwards compatible titles? And this is probably the biggest question gamers have today concerning it shutting down on 360. There is no impact to purchasing or playing backwards compatible 360 titles. after July 29th, you will still be able to purchase hundreds of great backwards compatible Xbox 360 and original games and DLC on Xbox One, Series X, and Xbox.com. We believe in celebrating gaming's rich history and have worked hard to preserve as many games as possible through our backwards compatible system. Yeah, bullshit. I call bullshit on that. They didn't preserve much. They only preserved maybe a fucking quarter of the fucking titles. But let's say those titles you don't own digitally. I just wonder, okay, if you guys access your account on the website, or if you have a Series console or an Xbox One console, I just wonder if you can purchase those games on that console and then upload your profile to a 360. I wonder if you can access that and download it to there. So there's probably a failsafe right there. I just wonder if there is a failsafe. So to those of you out there, if you have both the One and the 360, try buying and downloading a 360 title that you don't own yet. Try buying it on your Xbox One, and then try accessing it on your 360 and see if that works. I just wonder if that's a thing. I just wonder if people can actually do that. It's almost like a failsafe. It's like, okay, well, you close the store down on 360. Guess what? I'm still going to buy the motherfucker. I'll still have it. How can I continue to stream and download Microsoft movies and TV content I purchased on a 360? The Microsoft Movies and TV app is available on Windows devices running Windows 10 and later, Xbox One and Xbox Series X. Any content that you have purchased from the 360 store will remain in your library and be available to view on such devices. In addition, all purchased movies and TV content eligible for Movies Anywhere can be streamed and downloaded on the Movies Anywhere app or site. Okay, so as I stated earlier, you could still buy them and you could still watch them on your other consoles. I know one game which is unavailable from the 360 store. Oh, you have one. Okay. Yeah, there are some games that are unavailable from the 360 store. Like, even if you look on the Xbox One and Series store, you'll see those titles. They're there, but it will say they're unavailable, which means they delisted it, but they still have the information on that game still up, which is, it's stupid. I don't know why they did that. It's like they tease you. That's like saying Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, and you pull it up on the store and you're like, holy shit, I'm going to buy that. And then you click on it and it's like, currently unavailable. Like, you motherfuckers. It's like, what a way to fucking tease somebody to say, yep, it shows it in your store, but when it comes to buying it, nope, fuck you. That's just like, that's a fucking sad thing right there. Also, okay, I'm right there, man. But yeah, so you can still watch your movies and your TV programs from other devices. So a lot of that, I'm guessing, has not changed since then. So there is still a lot to Xbox. But to me, I'm like, look at Sony. Sony recently, within the last few years, they took a lot of movie and TV show content from their platform. And I don't know if it's because they must have lost a copyright to them or something to be able to, or the license to them to be able to have them on their platform. But yeah, Sony, they removed a lot of movies and TV shows from their platform since they shut down one of the stores on there. I think it was, they shut something down. And people were fucking pissed. I got a buddy, my buddy Mike. He had a PS3. And he was telling me, Mike, I'm fucking pissed with Sony. Like, they shut that shit down. I lost all my movies that I had purchased. I can't fucking watch them anymore. He even bought a PS4. He still can't watch that shit. That is fucking sad, man. That's when I was like, what the fuck y'all doing, Sony? But then that goes to show, like, with today's standards with companies like Ubisoft and all, where they're like, the content, the digital content that you purchase, it's not yours to own. It's not, you just buy a product license key for it, but we can always take it back from you. You don't own that content. You better get used to just renting and paying out subscription services. Like, fuck that. That's why, like, if I had the room for it, if I had fucking shelves or whatever, I would have bought all my fucking games physical. I would have said, fuck digital. Like, I'll have them all fucking physical, you know? Like, with me, I'm all for physical, just like I am for digital. You know, digital just means you have the convenience of sorting through your library without having to get up, sift through a library of physical games, you know, that you probably have in alphabetical order, or maybe one game that somebody just slipped somewhere and you're trying to look for it and you're like, where the fuck is it? Where the fuck is it? Or the hassle of somebody swapping discs in different cases and playing a fucking mind game. Like, okay, I want to play Halo 5. Nope. What's in there? The disc for Gears of War 5. Okay, you look in Gears of War 5 and you see, oh, Alien Isolation. You go to Alien Isolation. Oh, Assassin's Creed Black Flag. You go to Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Nope, Yokozuna. Like, it's like a fucking sick game. Like, can you imagine you had a friend out there who was like, I'm gonna fuck with him. I'm gonna take the fucking games out of each box and I'm gonna swap them. Yeah, you would. And I'll be like, where the fuck is it? And at the end of the fucking day, you're sitting there like 5-10 minutes looking for that one game you want to play. It's like, fuck it, I'm done. I'm not playing anymore. I'm not looking for this fucking shit. And then when that significant other, friend or whatever, and they're like, just relax. I put it in this case here. And they pull the case out and notice that the fucking disc is missing or it's not there. And you're like, oh, wait, it wasn't that one. I'm sorry. Was it this one? By then, I'll just be like, you know what? Just take all the fucking shit out in the backyard and burn it. That's what I say. We got a fucking fire pit right out here. That's what I'd be like, no, toss them all in the fire pit and burn the son of a bitch. I don't give a shit. But that's hundreds of dollars. I don't give a shit. That would be one expensive fucking fire. There we go. This would be one expensive fire. We don't need fucking firewood. Wood right now probably costs like fucking $30 a log. Nah, I'll just take the entire library I got, toss it on the fire. There, it's gonna have a weird fucking smell of plastic in the air, and people will be like, "What the hell is burning? Somebody burning a fucking bounce house or some shit?" And we're fucking barbecuing video games outside. Or it could be worse, guys. It could be like Psycho Dad, McJuggernuggets, where he puts them all out in the fucking yard and mows over them with a lawnmower and shit. God damn, that's where I would be at with that shit right there. But yeah, everybody, like I said, today's a sad day. 360 store. If you guys own it for 360, don't worry, you'll still be able to play games online. You just will not be able to purchase any content on the store. However, if there's a game that you don't own and you can't download it digitally, sadly, you're going to have to purchase it somewhere. So hopefully you can find it cheap somewhere. And I would not go to Amazon. I would not go to eBay, because those collectors, they will charge an arm and a leg for that shit. Like, if I go to eBay right now, I just wonder what the most expensive Xbox 360 game is. I just want to see what the most expensive one is. Like, there's got to be something. Let's see. Over $15. Okay. And there's a lot of rarities out there, too, that are expensive. Okay, what was this? Ubisoft's Import Tuner, $62. Christ, I wonder when that game came out. Holy shit. Okay, so since, hey, Clover, hey, Bo10, 3 seconds in, I already enjoy your vibe. Sad the marketplace is shutting down. Oh no, man, it is really sad. I played 360 for so many years. I had so many games playing on there, man, and it was just sad. Like, I even had my my take on. I had my God, how I want to word it. I had so many 360 titles back then. Yeah, they took it off in a heartbeat. Yeah. The only good thing about about today is you can still play those titles if you got them digital. And you can still play online with friends. So the multiplayer aspect is still up there. You don't have to worry about, having to switch to another console. It's just they shut the marketplace down for the 360. So now it's like, well, there was if I don't know if you guys caught it. About 10 minutes ago, I was like, what if you got an Xbox One or Series console, and there's a digital title on there that you want to buy this 360? I was like, what if you go on there and purchase that title under Xbox One and try to access it through your 360 console? I just wonder if that works. Even though I don't have a 360 to try that out with, I just wonder if that would be something. So if anybody has both of those, I would say try it and see if that actually works, and then get back with me like sometime after the show's ended. Leave it in the comments section and say, "Holy shit, that did work!" You know, because I am interested in learning, and I'm just interested in seeing how that fucking works out. But yeah, I had my share of 360s back in the day. Let me tell you guys, I come from the days of the Red Ring of Death. You know, the first console I bought, yeah, it was used. That's all I could afford at the time. I had it for maybe a year or so, and that motherfucker Red Ringed on me, and I was pissed. So at that time, I ended up shipping it out to Microsoft, and of course, they take their good old time with it, you know. Can you test the YouTube? I tried earlier, but it didn't work. Maybe the optional media update has corrupted the YouTube app. It might have. I'm not too sure. Let me see. Test the YouTube app. Let me see if I can pull it up on here. I mean, it's possible that maybe. See if I can. All right, it's working on my end. It might be my restream. It might be my software. I'm probably outputting too much to where you end up to where it's buffering and everything. So it might be too much. I don't know. I might have to tweak it a little bit. Netflix does work, I think. Okay. I'm pretty sure apps like that for YouTube and Netflix, I'm pretty sure they still do work on there. Like I said, the online aspect, it still works. If they say you can still play games on Xbox, if you can still play games on there online, I'm most definitely certain that you can still watch YouTube, Netflix, Hulu, whatever you got on there. I'm pretty sure you can still play those on there. It's just you won't be able to download anything from their marketplace on there. They have to keep 360 servers online. They are tethered back. Yes, that is true. That is true. When it comes to the servers, it's usually based around the developers. Let's say Ubisoft. Let's say Ubisoft has had, let's say Black Flag has had online multiplayer to it. And Black Flag's been out since what, 2012, 2013, somewhere around there. So the game's 10 years old, or just over 10 years old. So it would be up to Ubisoft to decide, okay, we're going to shut the servers down for Black Flag. It's all up to the developers. It's not up to Microsoft to say, hey, we're going to shut the servers down because nobody's playing the game. No, it's got to be up to the developers. That's like, remember back in the day with Halo 2, guys. And there were still those brave individuals who kept playing Halo 2 for the longest time, where they were supposed to shut the servers down. I forgot what year they were supposed to shut the servers down, but there was a brave few who kept the private game open. They were like, no matter what, nobody quit out. Nobody quit out of the online part. They still played that game online until Bungie forced closed the servers on there. But what was also cool about it is they commended those gamers that were so dedicated to keeping Halo 2 alive and well on there. That was pretty cool. But those gamers, they kept that shit going. They were like, oh, you ain't going to shut the servers down on us. Fuck that. And they just kept going, you know? And, of course, you can still play Halo 2 if you got Xbox One or you got PC. You could download the Master Chief Collection. I had that since, 2015 is 2015 is when I got my Xbox One, and I came bundled with the Master Chief Collection, so I've owned that for so many years. That's all fun right there. Let's see. So my share of 360s, like I said, I had the Red Ring of Death, and we shipped that out to Microsoft. They're supposed to repair it or send you a new one. I didn't feel like fucking waiting. I just said, fuck it. I shipped it out. I didn't even see that console come back till like 2-3 months later. So I ended up going out and getting another Xbox 360. It was probably a little bit more updated model. It was the same, glossy white model and shit. And this one had the hard drive attached to the end and all. Now, the first one I had got the Red Ring of Death. This one gave me the open tray error, where whenever I put a disc in and close it, it would just say open tray. It would not read the disc at all. And let me tell you all something. And I know you probably take good care of your consoles, and I do too. But let me tell you, I beat the fuck out of that Xbox. I would bang on it. There was times where I unplugged it, tossed it across the room on the floor, and you know what? I plugged the motherfucker back in, and it worked. It fucking worked. I don't know how. I abused this motherfucker like a wicked stepchild, you know? I fucking beat on it. I threw it across the room. This son of a bitch, I plugged it in. It fucking worked. It worked. I put the disc in, game would pop up, boom, and I could play it. No issues, no flaws at all. It eventually went, though, you know, and that's when I upgraded to the 360 Slim. And the Slim, they fixed all the issues with it. Yeah, it took them long enough, though. You know, I mean, but the 360 didn't really have any issues after that. Now, my brother at the time, he had a used 360 himself, and he got the E74 error, and he was like, "What the fuck does this mean?" And I was like, "It's basically a hardware issue, like with what I had. I had the Red Ring of Death. He had E74, so I've seen all three issues that could happen to the 360 in my lifetime. And everything they fixed with the 360 Slim. And then after the Xbox One came out, I got it a couple years afterwards. And they say the only thing with that could either be the HDMI port, if you're not careful enough with it. Like, people will just fucking jam the goddamn plug in there, you know? I never had Red Ring of Death, but I do have overheating freezes. Yeah. I think that's with a lot of consoles. Like, even the series consoles, I guess they overheat so much, they get really hot to where either the game freezes or backs out of the game. I've had that happen, especially with newer games. I think I got 3 360s. Only one of them works now so far. One of them I would love to get in the future just to have it is the R2-D2 360 they have. And I know because, you know, my fiance, she's a Star Wars fan, and yeah, it would be something neat to have hooked up to the TV. You push the buttons, and it's got the R2-D2 talking on it and shit like that. But they had different variations of the 360 Slim. They had Gears of War, they had Halo. They had so many others. I had a buddy who had the Gears of War one when I think Gears 3 came out. That was so fucking awesome. And yeah, Gears 3 was fucking big. I played the hell out of the campaign, the multiplayer and shit. That was the one that's where grown men cried when Dom died in that game. When Dom died, and that's like, oh yeah, this grown men don't cry. Yo, we fucking cried, man. We were so intrigued with the story, and Dom died. I was like, yeah, that's it. I made it through the story and all, but that's like we're grown men. It's like big men don't cry. No, don't let them call you babies. Don't let them call you man child. You know, it's like when your favorite character dies in a video game. Hey, you gotta show some tears. I have a fat PS3 and PS3 Slim, and they both got the blinking red lights of death. I had a PS3 Slim. Luckily I had one that did not have that happen. My brother, however, after he lost his 360, he got the fat PS3, and he got that used. And I was kind of hoping that he had a version that wasn't like that. And he played it for a good solid, I want to say 9 to 10 months. It was almost a year he was playing it. And then he come to me and he said, my console's not turning on. And I'm just sitting there thinking, oh Christ, he's got that. So I go to his room, and yeah, PS3s don't fail early on just years after being stored. Oh, it's like having an expiration date. Yeah, pretty much. So what would happen with the PS3s is just like with the 360 with the Red Ring of Death. When they built those consoles, I think they knew what they were doing, but whoever put them together didn't use the right amount or the right type of thermal paste when it came to the heat sink in there. And the heat sink is what keeps the CPU cool. So when the heat sink, when the thermal paste starts to heat up and liquefy, and it separates the heat sink unit from where the CPU and all is, and that's what happens. That's why those consoles overheated the way they did. And you had components on the inside. It's like they were melting away and failing, and you couldn't play you couldn't use the console at all. That's like with the remedy that people have took notice to with the 360s. When you got the red ring of death, turn it upside down, put a towel on it for a little while to cool it off, and then when you go to play it later on and it worked well, that's because, like, okay, when you turn it upside down, I guess it's how the heat sink was placed in there. That way, whatever I just lost my fucking word. Okay, thermal paste. Whatever type of thermal paste they used for the heat sink, it solidifies and it sticks again. It sticks to the heat sink. It sticks it right back to the CPU, and it solidifies again to where it's sticking there. And that's how it ends up working again. That's how it regains its thing. So that was one good thing that the 360 had going for it, So it's like, okay, as long as you know what to do, you're good. That's like when... Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and take a quick break, guys. And I'll be right back. Hopefully you guys stick around for the rest of the show. So I'll be right back.
My future.
The Eagle Vision is the first sedan in the world with the auto stick system. Porsche offers their version in a coupe. This German engineer will compare.
Du kennst mich doch. Ich liebe schwarz.
So what do you think, Goose?
Also, was denkst du denn, gut?
Das ist sehr gut. Ich meine, Einfahrt zum automatisch, Autostick.
He likes the choice of automatic or auto stick. Excellent handling without a clutch.
What's he think of Vision's price?
Hast du meine Gute? They're screwed.
No, we get the message. Thank you.
Now get $1,500 cash back on Eagle Vision TSI.
The new reloadable smart card. The future is happening now down under and on its way here. From MasterCard, it's smart money.
Homer gets a new job as Mr. Burns' assistant.
I think the bangs today.
And we're back, guys. Hitting into the home stretch of the show for you guys. Just a little over an hour in. If you guys have just joined the show, a little bit into it, if you guys want to support the channel, hit that like, subscribe button down below if you enjoyed today's show. Yeah. So there was one game when I was talking about expensive games on eBay. One game I want to tell you all that is kind of expensive. I wish I could get it. I might have to find it on PC. So Deadpool and Wolverine just came out. Awesome fucking movie. I'm going to do a review of it. So if you guys want to see my movie review, definitely follow the channel. I have a series called CinemaCast. It's a podcast for movie reviews. Pretty soon I'm going to do a review for Deadpool and Wolverine. Might have a few spoilers in it, I will say, but it's going to be my take on it, my opinion, my rating on it, and all. But I will say, if you are a fan of X-Men, if you're a fan of Deadpool, you got to go out and see this movie. I actually watched it 3 fucking times. I watched the movie 3 fucking times. It was that good. I loved it. For Disney and Marvel to pull Deadpool over into the MCU the way they did. And then you got Hugh Jackman, who was retired from doing the Wolverine character. but they pulled him back into it. Ryan Reynolds has some doing. He had a hand in there to bring him back. But they did it very well. It was very fun, full of fun cameos, full of fun Easter eggs. I loved it, guys. If you're a fan of the Marvel, if you're a fan of Deadpool, X-Men, Wolverine, go see it now. But yeah, since the movie came out, the price for the game Deadpool on 360 is now up to $80. $80 fucking dollars, guys. And that's all because the movie just came out. It's a huge hit right now, and people are wanting more of Deadpool. And now I guess people are discovering that there's a Deadpool game on Xbox. The price goes up. People are making a killing off of that shit now. Like, god damn. Oh, I used to have that game back in the day. I used to have it back in the day. I loved playing Deadpool. It was so fun, and just the character alone that breaks the fourth wall when it comes to everything. They still break the fourth wall in the movie, which is hilarious as shit. And I'm not gonna spoil it for any of you guys. I'm not, but I will say there is a lot of fun cameos. There's a lot of fun characters in this movie. It's 2 hours long, and Ryan Reynolds doing his comedic bit as Deadpool. Hugh Jackman. R-rated Wolverine. Let's just say that R-rated Wolverine. This is what people were dying for since the early days of X-Men. I know we had Logan. Logan was a beautiful movie. That he fulfilled his destiny, and it was really good. So that was a definite good entry to Marvel, and it kickstarted something new. So I guess we may see more of Wolverine and Deadpool in the MCU. Like just yesterday, if you guys haven't seen, Robert Downey Jr., he's coming back to the MCU. It was just revealed yesterday or 2 days ago that Robert Downey Jr. is going to play Victor Von Doom in Avengers Doomsday. So I was like, nope, there's no Iron Man. But he's going to be a part of it. He's going to be Doctor Doom. And the next Avengers movie that's going to probably come out, I don't know, maybe 2026, 2027, somewhere around there. What's up? Shit, what's going on, Kachin? Nothing much here, man. Yeah, just over an hour into the show. I'm not going to make it a long one today. I was trying to stick like an under hour, but if any guys who's just now joining in, if you guys missed the show, you could definitely go back and rewatch it after the show ends. Like I said, today was a sad day for a couple reasons. Like I said, Tom, if you're still in here, man, I don't blame you. You and Tim had a discussion about something, dealing with the podcast. It is what it is. It's water under the bridge right now. It's your show, the URC show. It's your guys' show. I would say still keep it going, man. Just keep it going. I've seen it twice. Plan on seeing it again on Tuesday. Dude, I've watched it 3 times already. I love the fuck out of Deadpool and Wolverine. Like, it makes me want to go back and watch the other ones. I think I will at some point, maybe this week. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and close this show out, guys. I don't know if you guys subscribed. I don't know if you liked it. Hopefully you guys do. Show some support. I do want to give a shout out to you guys in the chat. We got Falcone, Clover Riker, what was that? Bold TM, Oni, and Kachan. Thank you guys for coming in today and checking out the show. Hope you guys enjoyed today's episode of Tuned In Live. I'm going to try to get more of these out here to you guys. Real quick, I just want to say, if you're just now joining in, I am working on putting together some videos right now. I got a lot of content from Gettysburg. When Jeff and I went to the Gettysburg this past weekend, I literally just did a video before I came on today. If you guys are into the Magic the Gathering tabletop card game, I did a video on a new deck that I got. It's Assassin's Creed based. So I'm going to try to get that video out here soon. I got more episodes of CinemaCast to upload. I got more short food review parody videos to upload. So I got plenty of content to keep you guys busy. And I'm going to try to go live a little bit more often. I'm trying to get a schedule set up once again to be able to get the show out there. Hopefully do some gameplay streams if you guys are up for that. Also, links for everything are down below. If you guys want to join us on our Twitch page, twitch.tv/ArrowENT is where we're also live on. Also stream on kick.com/ArrowEntertainment. That's crazy. I still own a game for PS3. Did I ever play X-Men Origins game? Oh my god, man. I played the fuck out of that game. That was a badass Wolverine game. It was tough at times, but that game was badass. I love that game. That's another one I've been wanting to get to. Once again, it's X-Men Origins Wolverine. That one was badass. The Deadpool game was badass. I love the fuck out of both of those, man. But yeah, if you guys want to chat more on games, if you guys want to chat more on any of this stuff, come join the Discord. Link for it is down below in the description section. Got a gaming section over there. If you guys are into anime, got anime section. Everything for everybody. Feel free to come in, chat it up. You know, we're always friendly over there. Always open up to new followers on Discord. So yeah, if you guys are on Discord, click that link down below in the description section. Hope to see you guys over there as well. Anyway, guys, I'm Mike. Thank you for joining me today for today's episode of Tune In Live. Hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. And until next time, stay tuned in.
What we do here is go back.